nice, ain't it?
Yeah. We don't know how to act.
Big time.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing today?
Second back to Philadelphia.
I don't know. I'll be great if I see a producer.
Oh, man.
He got hot, man.
Hey. Oh
Pretty sure
man.
we'll be all good. All right. And joined now by Coach Mike Reed, who has multiple titles that will not list off.
That's what happens when you're the old man and staff.
We've been talking to a lot of the defensive players, and they will kind of say, "Hey, last year was good, but just not good enough for us." Have you seen that, heard it in the meeting rooms, kind of seen that on the practice field, that there's a little bit of a, hey, we need to get that edge back?
Exactly. You know, the bar and the standard here is high, and kids understand that when they come here, they're coming here with a purpose. They want to win championships, and so when you don't get to what you really want, you know, you got to come back and you got to fix it. And you know, Coach Reed does a great job in making sure our players understand that the plays that they've made previously are not going to do anything or have a reflection of what they do this year. So these guys are hungry. They want to win. They're loving to compete. Guys are really going after it. The young kids have really come in and have some leadership qualities, and it's very pleasing to see that. You know, guys getting after it in practice.
Was the hunger not there as much as it should have been, just looking back, can you say, or?
I think the hunger was there, you know, but it was one of those things where we were very inconsistent, you know, and it's, you know, now guys are realizing when coaches were stressing the detail, the small things, they understand like, whoa, okay, that's the difference between a touchdown and a pass breakup, or you know, a missed block could mean a big play. And so, you know, guys realize, hey, you know, they see it, you know, they're more mature, and so now it's time for them to turn the page and get better.
Malcolm was a guy that we didn't see much last year just because of injuries. Just how do you feel like he's done so far this spring, and where is he?
I mean, Malcolm is back to Malcolm his freshman year. You know, he's healthy. You know, he has that high. You know, he's that pace car. You know, he's that guy that's gonna bring a lot of excitement to practice, and you see it. You know, he made a couple plays the other day, and he was letting the world know he made the play. You know, and that's Malcolm. You know, great kid, great energy. You know, I'm happy and excited that he's finally healthy. You know, it'll be good to go out there and watch him play.
It seemed like last year a lot of picks were right there, and they slipped through the fingers. Any way to remedy that?
Well, you know, in practice, you got to throw the ball more. You know, you got to, hey, if they're not catching the ball in game, then, well, we got to throw more in practice and get them to the point where they're relaxed and not tense when the ball comes. You know, it's not like they mean to miss it. It's like they get there and they're like, you know, the ball's right there and they panic. You know, but you know, one of the ways you do that is now you got to go consistently do hand and eye coordination drills, strengthening the hands, and catching more footballs.
How good is it to have Sheridan Jones back?
Great. I mean, it's good to have all those guys back. You know, to have a guy with starting experience. He's seen a lot of things. You know, so things won't be very new to him because he's seen it all. You know, he's been through the fire. You know, and so it's promising because now some of the young guys can have that mentor, that leader that they can follow.
What does the next step for Nate look like to you?
Next step is to take over a game. You know, come in physically stronger, to be that guy that can totally shut down one side of the field.
How close is he to being that right now, do you feel like?
He's got some work to do. You know, he ain't there yet. He's like I said, he's got. You know, but I like his presence. I like what he's doing. He's incorporated a lot of other things in his tool belt, which I stress for my guys. So now that when other teams are trying to diagnose him and understand what he's doing, he's going to keep them on their toes.
Dabo has said a few times that the pass defense has to be better this year. That's just a huge emphasis. Do you feel like your guys are kind of taking that as a personal challenge and kind of taking that head on?
I mean, I don't know if we're taking it personal because that's what we're supposed to do. That's what we signed up for. You know, so I mean, it's something that I stress all the time. So, I mean, in my eyes, I don't want the offense to catch any passes. So it's always been something that's always been hammered on them from day one. They're DBs. You know, they have the mentality that I'm not giving up anything. You know, that's what I wanted. That's the mentality I have, and that's the mentality they have.
Have you ever seen a year like last year where you had to deal with someone? I mean, you're going in against Sam Hartman and A.T. Perry. You're throwing a bunch of freshmen out there. Have you ever had a year where it's kind of been that difficult at times?
Nah, I mean, every day's difficult, really. You know, because like I said, my position is very different than everybody else's. You know, we make a mistake and it's seen worldwide. It's ESPN top 10. You know, so for me, I mean, every day's difficult. You never know what you're gonna get. As I talked about, you know, sometimes these kids are like a bag of Skittles. You get a red one, you get a green one, you get a yellow one. You know, that's our way our generation is now. You know, they got a lot of things they got to deal with. So as a coach, you gotta wear a lot of hats. So no, I wasn't surprised. You know, every day's hard.
What have you seen out of Jaden Lucas so far? Where do you feel like he can grow this season?
I see. I mean, if you look at him, he's what you want in a DB. You know, as far as size, speed, length, athleticism. You know, he's turning the page. He's learning the defense. You know, a lot of times those freshmen don't know what they don't know. You know, in high school they just play man coverage. Here you're gonna play a lot. You're gonna play various coverages, various defenses. You're gonna be playing man, zone, different techniques. So for him, it's now he's trying to settle in a little bit and learn the defense a little bit more to the in and outs where he can do everything we ask him to do at a high level.
I guess what does it say about him that he needed shoulder surgery and he decided to put that off a little bit so he could compete this spring?
The kid's a tough kid. I mean, tough kid. He doesn't say much. He just goes to work, puts a hard hat on and goes to work. I mean, you like that, because you know this. You know, he's gonna give it all he's got. You know, and at the end of the day, man, that's what you want as a coach. Because if the coach is all in, the other players are all in, he's all in. He don't want to be that guy sitting on the sideline. He wants to play.
Do you anticipate not him playing more corner than nickel next year?
Yes. Right now, we'll see. But he's playing a lot more nickel because he hasn't played a lot of nickel. Corner. Sorry about that. He's played a lot of nickel in previous years, and so we're giving him a shot to play corner, and see what he can do.
Do you feel good about your depth at nickel too? Is that part of the reason you move him out there?
I wouldn't say we feel good with our depth at nickel. We have a bunch of guys. We're trying to find out the perfect fit. So we're cross-training guys in various positions to see if they can handle it. And we already know that Malcolm can handle nickel. We want to go and see what he can do at corner.
Yes, Torgan was a guy who got a lot of experience kind of in the fire last
Yeah.
year. What do you feel like he learned from that he's bringing into this?
I mean, coach is not a liar. Because a lot of these kids, you tell them that they may play or they'll have the opportunity to play as a freshman, and they think, that's recruiting talk. But the way I tell these kids is, look, man, I'm not wasting my time to come recruit you if I don't want you to play. All right? I could die tomorrow. I want to see you play today. All right? I don't want my wife to say, hey, you spent all that time recruiting that kid. He's not a player. So, that's one of those things I tell my kids. Hey, if you come to work every day, you do what you're supposed to do, your names are not on any list, and you compete, then you'll play. And for him, we had some injuries, and heck, he had to play more than I thought he would. And he like I say, he stepped up the challenge. And it was good for him. So now this year, I don't have to worry about him having that freshman jitter anymore. He's ready to go.
How do you evaluate how your guys held up, like on perimeter stuff, point of attack, getting off block, making tackles last year?
It's never good enough for me. My uncle always tells me he feels sorry for the players that play for him. And because I'm a competitor. I'm a guy that played the position. So everything that I'm teaching them, I've done. And like I said, my mentality is they don't catch any passes. It's never good. It's not good enough. I'm the guy that, as Kobe says, I'm chasing perfection. I'm chasing greatness. Because if I chase that, I'm gonna fall amongst the good, you know. And that's what I want. I want these guys to understand that, you know, every day we got to go out and we got to work. We got to work. We got to work. Because in the end result, you know, when it's time for them to go out in the real world ain't gonna care. It's gonna keep beating them, and they got to stay strong, you know. Because if they don't, they'll crumble. So I figure if I do my job here, they'll be ready for that concrete jungle out there when it's time for them to graduate and leave.
With Sheridan and Nate back, do you feel like you have two established starters there that are in a good spot, or do you feel like there's still a pretty open competition?
It's still, I mean, for me, it's open competition. You know, I mean, I've got to put the best guys out there. You know, I can't play favorites. I can't say because I like this kid. You know, I play. I love all of them. You know, I want all of them to play. But if they're not deserving to play, I can't put them on the field. You know, I can't, you know, sacrifice the rest of the team because I want to appease some players. They've got to be ready. You know, they've got to earn it. You know.
Special teams, improvements, where do you see that you need to make improvements, get better there?
Well, I mean, you know, it's a couple games last year we lost because of special teams, and we've got to get better. We've got to get better. You know, we've got to get more consistent. You know, we've got to be in a position where our best players contribute and leave on special teams, and then we got to find a solid kicker. You know, a solid punter. We lost some guys, and so it's an opportunity, open opportunity for these young boys to step up and be the guy that we trust. You know, and that's the good thing about spring practice because you're gonna see some guys that are competing. You know, as a group of guys. I mean, I love the competition out there, and if, you know, Coach Sweeney had them out there today, and they were getting at it. You know, who's gonna be the guy? Is it gonna be a walk-on? Is it gonna be a scholarship player? Who knows? You know, but everybody's gonna have an opportunity.
What have you seen out of Robert Gunn? Is anybody pushing him?
Yeah, they're all pushing him. You know, I see a kid who has an extremely live foot. And if you don't understand what I mean, the ball, it takes off. I mean, you hear a boom. You know that sweet spot of the baseball hits the bat? It's like that, or that golf ball hits that golf club and that thing's like, I mean, you see it. I mean, he has some pop in his leg, you know.
Can Jack push Aiden? He was, as we heard, inconsistent in practice last
Yeah.
year. But can he push it? Has he kind of pushed through? Can he push Aiden?
They're at it. They're going at it. I mean, if you look, heck, you go out there in pregame warm-ups and games, and you see Jack punt, you be like, whoa, he's the freaking next Reggie Roby out there. Some of you people don't know who Reggie Roby is. Some of you guys are too young. You know who Reggie Roby is? All right, well, you better hit Google then. He's a good one for a long time. Yeah, but he's got the power. He just got to get consistent.
Do you feel like the way last season ended left guys with a bad taste in their mouth?
I think so. Left one in mind. You know, because every time I see it, I feel it. You know, and you see like some of the guys that came back. You know, Tyler Davis, Ruka Roro. They left a bad taste because if not, I'm sure they would have left. If we'd won the national championship, their asses probably would have left. But it's some unfinished business.
Anyone else for Coach Reed?
Well, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all very much, man.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate your time.
Oh.